Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Simply Street English podcast. My name is Jake and I'm your host. So, are you sitting comfortably? Then let's begin. I hope you're having a good day and just enjoying the fact you can sit down and listen to a podcast. Or is that a joke? Maybe you're running currently or working or whatever it is you're doing. You're taking the time to listen to some spoken English. That's good. You get brownie points for that. If you don't know what the brownies are, maybe I should explain a little bit about what those are and what brownie points are. So, I guess they're a bit like the Girl Guides, the Boy Scouts, that kind of thing. It's like a club where kids go and they colour things in, I think, and just do different activities. I can't say that I was ever a brownie because I'm not a girl. That was for the girls. Right, anyway, digressing, but that's a good cultural one for you. Go look up what the brownies are and have a little look at what British culture, well, that one bit of British culture is. Anyway, I'm digressing. Today, we are going to be talking about some travel. Some travel. My English isn't very good. I do apologise. We're going to be talking about phrases to do with travel or just travelling by aeroplane in general. I'm going to see what happens, really. I've got some notes and we'll just go from there. So, have you ever been travelling by aeroplane? I wonder if you have. Just a quick reminder that this whole episode will have a transcript available for it, and that is for free. The first 5 episodes are going to be transcripts. They're going to have transcripts out there for free. After that, if you'd like more transcripts, go check out the Patreon and you can join for £5 a month if you want to support the podcast and get yourself all of the transcripts. Lovely jubbly. Right then, aeroplane travel. It can be stressful and it can be great. Both of those two things at once. Usually it's very stressful to begin with, at least until you get to your destination. So whether it's a stressful event for you or you love a good airport lounge, let's dive in and see if we can come up with some fun vocabulary to do with travel and airports. So first thing you have to do is pack your bag, or if you're packing a lot of stuff, pack your bags. You got to remember your favourite things, your teddy bear, maybe a cushion for the journey on the plane. Got to bring a book, and if you're reading an English book to learn English, then you get extra brownie points. See, there you go. If you're reading a book in a different language, you get more points. There you go. Yep, so you've got your book, maybe you've got your iPad with you or your phone. Obviously, you'll have your phone, but try not to go on it too much, square eyes and all that. Try and read something or, sleep even. I think it's much better to sleep or to read on a plane than to stare at a screen for the whole time. But that's just me. You can do what you like. So, you've packed your bag. You've got to remember all the important stuff. Like I've just mentioned. Oh yeah, and the passport. Don't forget that. Keys, money, wallet, whatever you need. That's probably the more important stuff. And a boarding pass. You're going to need a boarding pass. Otherwise, you're not going to get on the plane. So they're usually on your phone these days. A lot of people still print them out just in case. But your boarding pass allows you to get through the gate. So you scan it. You get there. You go in the queue. You scan using the scanner. And beep, beep. Lets you go through. And by that time, I imagine you've already put your liquids in a small see-through bag. I think it's 100ml you're allowed to take of each thing. Although recently I think the rules were going to change. But as far as I know, you've still got to do that. So remember to get your clear plastic baggie as well. And repack your bag. Isn't that such a hassle? I find that so annoying. I have to take my laptop out my bag, and the laptop is kind of making the whole bag stand up like straight, and then all my bag flops in, and my stuff goes everywhere. I then have to repack it after security, and I must say as well, like, I don't have a belt on at the time. My shoes, they probably asked me to take my shoes off. I feel like a mess. So yeah, I would say it's pretty stressful trying to put my belt on and everything. And whoever I'm traveling with is usually so far ahead that I have to call them forward. Hey, call forward. Hey, wait for me, guys. Come on, chill out. Or I'm just taking my time. So you've packed your bag, you've got through security, you've used your boarding pass. Remember to say goodbye to any family at the terminal to you that are there as well. And hopefully you had a nice chilled ride to the airport, perhaps in a taxi. But more likely than not, it was just, you probably just got a lift, maybe with a family friend or something, which is always nice. It's nice to be dropped off and picked up at the end of your holiday by family or friends. So usually though, that's a stressful bit as well, because you have to leave like 2 hours before, or get there 2 hours before the flight or something like that. I don't know about your family, but a lot of the time my family would be there 3 hours before, something like that. And then that's when you sit down with your book or your iPad and read or do whatever you want to do and chill out for a bit. Excuse me. Then obviously, yep, you're waiting for that flight, just waiting and waiting. And often there are delays and you just have to hang out really. You can do some people watching. That's always fun, you know. People of all sorts of different types are going through airports all the time, and you can just see any number of people, and it's interesting to watch folk and see what they're doing. A lot of people on phones, but a lot of people just having genuine connection, sitting and chatting and having food in the really overpriced bars that are there and stuff. If you know Weatherspoon though, that's not terrible. Weatherspoons, I mean, it's still expensive because it's an airport, but a good old Spoons. Maybe that should come up in a future episode. If you don't know Spoons, then get to know it. It's a pub chain across the UK, and they do very good. Sorry, very cheap food, very good. You know, obviously drinks and stuff, so not usual stuff. And coffees sometimes, the refillable coffee. I think it's like £1. I bought it for £1 once. It was great. It was supposed to be like £2.50, and it was an even further discount, and I was shocked. But I had like 3 or 4 for £1 couldn't complain. Anyway, then you got to board the plane, haven't you? And find your seat, and that's always interesting. You know, you go and sit next to some random person, and you've either got someone who's a talker next to you, and you don't want to talk, or you're the talker, and they don't want to talk. But I find a happy mix is where you get, you know, you say hello, you chat, you sit down next to someone. Oh, where you from? Where you going? Or if they're speaking another language, you can practice a little bit, you know, a bit of Spanish, French, German, whatever. For yourself, it would be English. And then after, you know, introducing yourself, saying, you know, not where are you going? You're obviously going to the same place. But, you know, have you been there before, etc. After about 5 minutes of chit chat, then it's nice to just, I'd say, settle in and just put your headphones on and read. That's what I do. Give people a bit of space if they don't want to talk to me, even though I like talking. So, you know, and then at the end of the flight, I always say hello again or chat and say, oh, look, we're here now. That was a decent flight, etc. There you go. I've just been reminded of a time when I was on the plane and we hit some unexpected turbulence. Now, if you haven't heard of the word turbulence before, it's when you're on the plane and it seems to jump and everything. It's like you hit some kind of a wind pocket or air pocket, I think. I'm not too sure. But the whole aircraft, depending on how bad the turbulence is, the whole aircraft can feel like you're being thrown into the air, and that's why you're told to put your seatbelt on in case there is some crazy turbulence. I remember feeling turbulence quite badly once. It kind of shocked everyone because I don't think they knew it was coming. But we were okay in the end. Hopefully, though, when you're traveling, there's no turbulence. And then when you land, right, it lands all good. One thing I must say about flying with one of my favourite airlines, Ryanair, they have never let me down, right? But, actually no, they do let me down, but very slowly and nicely, it's good. But a Ryanair flight is well known to be quite a bumpy landing. I must say, I do like Ryanair, but if someone's never flown with them before, I do look over and see and just gauge their reaction as we land, because they're quite heavy landings. Safe, but heavy, right? I must say, once had the most scary experience when we were about to land, and it was such bad weather that the pilot decided to then put the thrusters on again. Sorry, I just dropped my Rubik's Cube. I need to concentrate. I apologise. He put the thrusters back on, so instead of landing, we just took off again, and that was so scary because we thought we were going to land, and when we didn't, we thought there must be something really wrong. But he brought it back around again and got us down. But it was really bad weather. It was really rainy. There must have been really poor visibility for the pilot to have to turn around again. I wonder if you've ever had a story of turbulence or not landing or something like that, just like I have. That was wow, that was pretty crazy. But anyway, you know, if you get to your destination, there's no hiccups like that, right? I know when I go to Spain, you'll get out of the plane, and because I come from not a cold country, right? We're not like Sweden, Norway, further north in Russia or Canada, right? It's not that cold, but the UK is known for being a bit chilly compared to Spain, at least. We get off the plane and wow, the wall of heat hits you, and it's lovely. So I imagine if you're visiting the UK for the first time, it's like a wall of kind of cold, and I can only apologise for that. Obviously, once you land, right, you've got to go through immigration and customs, and that's always fun. I remember going to America once, and they must have been the biggest, baddest looking border guard I'd ever seen. They'd made me feel like I was doing something wrong, even though I clearly wasn't. Yeah, they always seem quite intimidating. That's a good word, I would say. Intimidating. Usually, and that's a good thing, because you don't want people to be messing around on your borders. Really, you want people to just behave, get through the system, show the passport, move on, and have a nice day. You've also got to wait for your luggage. Remember, don't lose any luggage. Try not to pick up the wrong bag, the wrong suitcase. That would be really, really annoying. If someone walked off with your suitcase and you went back to your hotel and you opened a whole bag full of, I don't know, granny pants, I don't know, something that isn't yours. Yeah, and your favourite teddy and your books and whatever are somewhere else. That would be a nightmare. Good luck trying to find a taxi that won't charge you a lot of money as well by an airport. I remember going to Amsterdam once, went to the Netherlands, right? And we must have looked like absolute tourists, me and my friends, because a taxi driver, he just came up to us and said, "Come on, where are you going? We'll take you there." He charged us €50 to go about 10 minutes, I think. And on the way back, I think we got the tram for like €3, but we were just so naive. That's a good word for you, naive. Yeah, it means being. You know what? I haven't looked up the definition, but I'll give you my best guess. I suppose guess of what it is. No, I know what it means, but I'll try and explain. Naivety is going into a situation and not thinking it through and being taken advantage of, I think. So if you go, literally, like I just said, go to a country, this guy will take us to the taxi, and not thinking about how much it will cost and then being taken advantage of, we were being naive. Yeah. Anyway, we had a great time in the Netherlands. It was a very interesting place. Would recommend to a friend, and I'd love to go back. So yeah, hopefully you get to your destination by taxi, train, bus ride, whatever, and you don't get ripped off. Yeah, you don't have to spend lots of money. You don't get ripped off. And then you get to navigate the local area. You know, I love to go for a run. What was that? Sorry, my headphones. I love to go for a run if I'm in a new place, because you get to see the lie of the land. You get to see kind of where you're going to be staying for the next few days or so. I really enjoy it. And you come across fun buildings, usually a river or two, depending on where you are, and you can listen to the language being spoken as you kind of, I guess, jog past and stuff. So I enjoy doing that, and it's a good de-stressor after a long day of travel. You can, even then start to have your first encounter with locals and say, hello, where could I run to next, or so. And I enjoy practicing my language skills when I go to a different country, and just getting out there and talking to people, even if it's just a small amount. But yeah, hopefully you've checked into your hotel or Airbnb or whatever, started exploring and having a nice time to relax from all that stressful travel and such. Perhaps you go out for dinner and you try some local food or a dish you've not tried before. Or I quite like going to landmarks. You must check out the landmarks and attractions of wherever you go. For example, let's think of a landmark in London. The House of the Parliament. Yep, the London Eye is a landmark. Another attraction would be Madame Tussauds, as we call it, we English people. I'm sure it must be something more like Tussaud. I don't know, in French. Couldn't say. Definitely couldn't say. What else we got in London? The clock tower, which holds Big Ben. That's quite fun. Although once when I went and I was walking around London, it was covered in scaffolding. Scaffolding is there to hold up the builders around the building who are, doing renovation works and whatever. So it didn't look very good with scaffolding on it, but I didn't really have a choice, so I had to just get on with it. Hopefully your landmarks are not covered in scaffolding when you go and visit. That's hopefully we've covered some kind of interesting vocabulary, at least some vocabulary on traveling through an airport and going on holiday. If you have any questions from this episode, do get in touch. Come say hi on Patreon, or comment on YouTube, or wherever you're listening to this. It gets put on a lot of different places and I can't keep up with it all, but there you go. Next week's episode, I don't know what it's going to be yet, but if you've got any ideas, do get in touch. And remember, you can get all these transcripts for free, the first 5 episodes for free on my website, simplystreetenglish.com, and then from there you can get access to all the PDF transcripts for just £5 a month. So yeah, let's see each other in the next episode and keep learning English. Bye.